So I'm trying to do it again this time. Just move this here, and hopefully, oh dear, my head's got all wobbly. There you go, another, oh, but got tiny now. Is that any better? I don't even know if it's better. Is that better than my head? If I move it around like this, will my head fall off? What was I talking to you about? Hedgehogs. It was interesting, I promise you, but now I'm stuck in traffic. Everybody's on their phones, I think, checking their emails and all the data and everything. So it's a low broadcast area. You don't have Wi-Fi quite as strong in this car as you do with the Force. So I was talking about Hedgehogs, and Jim Collins' 2 books, Built to Last and Good to Great. And they're all about how a company managed to last for 100 years and stay at the top of its game in its industry through many things, through reinvention, and there's certain criteria that it uses to last for a long time. And one of the things they don't do, for instance, is bring in rock star managers. Guys who are not one-trick ponies, but guys who bring such a big reputation that they come in and they define the way that the team and the company is, and then when they've had enough, they go and they leave a wake in their, well, they leave it empty after them because they don't really promote what goes on internally and change the culture. They just make sure that you get some big successes during their time. And of course, if you're a big fan of football, then you'll notice that that happens with certain managers. And it'll be interesting to see. I won't slander anybody, but Manchester United will be interesting this season. Right, I won't go there again. So anyway, there's certain things that they do, creating a culture from within. So your management should come from within, so they have the culture ingrained and they're trained and groomed for the right position. And one of the things that we talk about is not doing stuff that you shouldn't do. Don't do things that you're not very good at. And that's what I wanted to say about today's message about hedgehogs and hairpieces and about being true to yourself. Everyone should reinvent themselves on a regular basis. Reinvent your business, reinvent your look, reinvent the way you are. They talk about in business you should be moving on to a different company every 2.5 years, maybe even changing the job you do. So you become a more rounded character and you get more of an idea about how the department runs rather than being a one-trick pony, where you become very good at what you do, but honestly, in that position you could easily lose it when that type of technology that you're particularly strong at becomes redundant. So many different industries change quite quickly. I mean, if you want to look at the fastest growing industry, which is probably the IT industry, whatever happened to all the hard drives now that everyone's gone to the cloud? Right now, companies are going bust left, right and center because they've got too much technology that nobody wants anymore. Because when you buy a new PC or you buy a new Mac or whatever you have, they normally come with an instant cloud data package. And with that, why do you need to keep CDs or keep any kind of hard drive when you can just download it or stream it? So you know the kind of thing I'm talking about. So how do you make yourself bulletproof? How do you make yourself so you're hedgehog proof? Well, the simple thing is, if you don't know what a hedgehog is, I know many people might not. A hedgehog is a rodent, and I can use my hands now because I'm stopped in traffic. It's like a rodent that basically it's like a mouse or a hamster with spikes on the outside, and when it comes across danger, it crawls into a ball with the spikes on the outside, and no natural predators can get at it. So you know, foxes and badgers, you usually get them in the UK, but I'm sure a lot of other places, like a porcupine, a lot of other places have them. So whenever any natural creature tries to get them, not including cars, because obviously that would be relatively easy, I'm only looking at the camera because I know that stopped driving, okay? I'm not going to turn the car around because you'll see the license plate of the car in front of the camera. So anyway, so they're very, very good at doing their natural thing, but they're not particularly good at anything else, but they don't need to be, because nature's made them so powerful that when they curl into a ball, they're perfectly protected from all their enemies. So what is it that you need to do the same in your business and do the same in your personal self? If you're going for a reinvention, I had this conversation with a very good friend of mine about 2 days ago, because he's looking at choice of a new career or changing job, and he wasn't sure what the things are that he should be looking at. So I'll share them with you right now. It's called the hedgehog concept. Imagine 3 circles, one here, one here, one here, all interlocking, and in the center is a sort of triangular shape, and that has got a big H in it, or a big hedgehog, depending on which you prefer to fit in. If it's a very small H, very small shape, it'll be an H. If it's a big one, you can probably get a stamp of a hedgehog, or even a real hedgehog in it. That sounds kind of weird. Anyway, getting back to the idea of a hedgehog, there's three things that you need to check out. You need to list 3 bits of paper. First circle, first page of a list, and first column for that is what could you feasibly say you're the best in the world at doing. So that means that if you were to write down everything that you've done in your life, your jobs and the job titles and the descriptions and duties. There's a thread that runs all the way through about the things that you did really, really well. When you turn around and say, guys, leave that bit to me. Honestly, I'll take care of that. Nobody can beat me on this. I'm excellent at it. Whatever that is, you can feasibly be one of the best in the world at doing it. It doesn't matter if you're not the best in the world, but you know you're excellent at doing it. That's the key thing. That's number one. Number two, the second circle is what you... Hey, back again. Are we back again? Usually when we're back again, it means that we're running slightly slow, so my mouth is out of sync with everything else, so I'm going like that. And it seems like I'm chewing a toffee or cotton wool. No, I don't eat cotton wool, I'm just making a point. Candy floss, okay? There you go, hybrid of both. So, second one is what you're passionate about. What you love to do so much that you never get bored of doing. And I'm not being rude here, so don't think of anything rude. But what I'm talking about is, you know, if you do something and you really, really love it, and it's you only get to do it on a weekend, but when you do it, you love it so much, well, why not think about turning that into a job? Really? Can you? Yeah, sometimes you can. Look at Google and find people who do it for a living. So it is possible, but the thing is, you could be really good at something, but you don't have your heart in it. That's not what you should be doing. So if you're really good at banking, but you hate banking, don't be a banker. Use those skills to do something that you really like flash dance. If you don't know what that is, Google it and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. And the third thing you got to think about is this. What can you make a profit out of? What will people pay you to do? It's no good being good at something and loving it, but nobody wants it. It's going to be something where all three circles connect. All three of those ideas all merge in together. Ooh, traffic's a bit bad. I'm going to have to do the James Bond routine and avoid this lane, that lane, and go along with a bypass road, even though it's got a different name right now. Okay. Just a live coverage of traffic here in Dubai. I should have had so much garlic on my spaghetti earlier. So those three circles all come together. Imagine a hedgehog in the center. So you've got to work out what it is that makes you really, really good at what you do, so you're excellent at doing it, what you love to do, and what people will pay for. That might not be what you're being paid for right now. You might be great at doing it and people pay for it, but you might hate it. Like, for instance, if you're working in stocks and shares of a stock exchange, high pressure job where you're fantastic at doing it, but everyone's so stressed and you're just looking forward to making that big buck and getting out. Well, maybe you can use those skills for something with a little less pressure, a little more opportunity for you. So, for instance, you can take somebody who is excellent at swimming. Fantastic swimmer, practices all day, could be Olympic standard, but his heart's not in it. You've got to get the right kind of balance. And when you find those three things, and you can go on Google and put in a hedgehog concept, then that's what you should be doing for a liver. A liver? Not for a liver, for a living. Because when you put all those three things together, you'll find that you're excellent at it. You get out of bed very easily every day because you love what you do. And also, you're making a good living. Now, you might not be making $1 billion out of it, but how many people have as much job satisfaction as you do, but still enjoy it? And if you're finding that you're not making enough money out of it, then you specialize and make a hedgehog inside a hedgehog. So within that, you get even one idea, one area of what you do as your hedgehog, and you make yourself the best in the world at that bit. Because people will pay for scarcity. I'll tell you more about that whole idea about what people will pay you for at another conversation. Meanwhile, I'm going to concentrate on my long drive home. Hope you guys are groovy. Look after yourself. Be crazy. And make sure that you subscribe to be a follower of my video podcast, so you get alerts every time I go live. And that means we can interact and you can ask me questions like, Dave, why does it look more grey every day? Don't ask me that question. Why would you ask that question? I thought we were getting on. Why would you want to cause a fight? Until now, we're getting on really well. I was sharing stuff, you were listening, you were saying you like it, we're getting on, and you had to ask about the grey hair. Got a hint? Right then. Have a lovely afternoon, be good to yourselves. I'll see you tomorrow morning, where I'll be doing something you've never seen before. At least not legally. Thank you, bye! See you, crazy. Cheers. You can go now. I'm going to press the red button. Bye.